Hey guys, so I don't know about you, but I'm in the need of a little bit of stress relief. There's just a lot going on right now. So I just decided I would have a play session. I'll see how this goes. I may continue on to an art journal session. I'm not sure, and I'm also not sure if they'll be in the same video. But either way, let's play with some Dina Wakley sprays. I've got collage tissue paper. I pulled out her branches mask plus stencil because this seemed like it would be fun to play with today with the sprays. I have some tags. I have another, like a paint comb. Dina's, I have gotten these tangled. There we go. Okay, careful. I have this paint comb, Dina's paint comb, which I love to spray through. As you can see, I've been using it. A little bit of chipboard. And I actually also remembered that I had this is collage tissue, but it has this just repeated texture background. The circles and the hearts and these squares. I thought it would be fun to also maybe play on that a little bit. So let's just see where this takes us. I'm just going to have a play, and I hope you will take the time to just de-stress, have some play sessions, do some art journaling, and work through everything that's bubbling up from all the things that are going on in the world right now. And so let's just have a play. I have some white printed tissue, so I'm going to try that. This time I'll spray on top. Last time I sprayed underneath, which works great. But I think if I spray on top and blot it off, I think that's what Dina showed that you can do. I think it will look cool too. So I'm going to try that. I have my leftover paper towels from before to use that. And I have baby wipe handy to wipe my nozzles. So let's just have a play and see what happens. Shake my bottles. Actually, I usually just shake a couple at a time when I first get them out to get them going. And then I can just do a little shake, spray, and I'll be in good shape. So I have turquoise and night, magenta, fuchsia, and cheddar for a little bit of contrast. So these all really mix well together. Cheddar is the little bit sort of the outlier, but I think it'll pop really nicely with the other colors. There we go. My sprays. Just sort of line them up here. And I'm going to start just with these collage tissue papers, and I'm just going to clean my nozzle. I'm going to clean my nozzle. I haven't been very diligent about that, so that's kind of what's happening. And you see it worked just fine once I cleaned it, right? I'll go ahead and do some cheddar. Oh, that's interesting. Also because I didn't clean it very well last time, but it's kind of cool looking. I'm going to leave I like that effect. What's happening is my nozzle has a little bit of paint buildup on it, and if I just do this and spray, fine. But I don't want to work on that right now. So I'll come back to that one. All right, we have night. Ooh, look, that night looks so purpley blue. It's nice. And I'm just doing spritz here and there, as you can see, and you'll see we're getting some resist. I don't want to let this dry fully, so I'm going to be careful about that. I can spray over the other spray. See these little circle dots? That's the resist happening from the spray that I sprayed first. Just doing some fun rainbow activities here. I just wanted a lot of this light pink for some reason. It just seems so fun. There we go. And I'll just tap it off with my paper towel. Now this paper towel has texture, so it's going to get some of that texture on there, and I'm okay with that. Guys, it's all right. I'm going to take my tag and smush off of this one. This is the smushing technique. Oh, that is gorgeous. Look at this. I love that. I'm going to get more of that by flipping this around and tapping it again here. That pink and turquoise mixed. Look at that. Oh, that is gorgeous. More. I need more. I love that. Ooh, this tag is Gorgeous. Dare I say I'm in love. I'm in love. Okay, let me tap this off a little bit more. I don't want to waste it, so I'm kind of just want to see what happens. The reason we're getting these lines is because this tissue collage paper becomes crinkly and wrinkly, as you can see right here, and it creates these interesting lines on the tag when you tap it off there. See? Interesting. I dare say it will be difficult to get these another way, these textures. They're pretty unique. I think I'll do some there where that is a mix of the blue and the pink. So that's a nice background for a tag started. And I'm not saving much white space, am I? Dina wants me to save white space, but I'm not really great at it. So I'm gonna let this dry. I don't know how much this white is going to show up on the front here, but will definitely show up on the back. But of course the words would be backwards if I flipped it over. So you decide. It looks really pretty. I feel like I could just take an art journal and put all these papers in there and it would be fabulous. So I'm just sitting these to the side so they can dry. Look, this one has a big white area and I don't really want that. So, isn't that funny? I'm like, no white space. It's not that I don't want any white space. Notice also when I go on top of this black, it still shows through, which is a pretty cool effect. Lights, darks, everything in between. Maybe I should get the white. Then it would be white. And that would make it opaque. I don't know. You guys, I'm just sharing my thoughts with you about this process as I go. And hopefully it's helpful to you in some way. I like that. Like you can just make a little trail there. That motion that's created, that's pretty fun. Turquoise. Ooh, stop. Stop there. You can always go back and add a little more too, like that. If you let that dry that way, it'll be fine. If you want to tap it off some way, that would also be fine. I'm just going to get out a stack of cardstock so I can print off of these. This would be like jelly printing, but not. And I can use this for other things. Gorgeous. Is that not fabulous? I mean, that's amazing. I could spray directly onto my cardstock, but this is just way too much fun right now. So that's how that looks right now. Really pretty. And I'm setting things aside separately to let them dry. I'm going to leave this because when I put it on a background, when I put it on a journal page, if I put the whole sheet on or part of a sheet, this area will just be clear with the black hearts. And I like that effect. That'd be pretty cool. But I do feel like it needs something. What does it need? It needs more color, right? Let's get a little bit more going on here. Okay. And if I sort of print with my paper towel, it's got that texture, which will be sort of interesting. There we go. I'm curious as to how this looks with the night. Yeah. All of Dina's colors work really well together. Ooh, I can make this like, so this is moving because it's a big puddle. And I could even get a spray bottle, like a mini mister or something, and make that color move and flow. Like I said, this is a play session, so it's all about experimenting, playing, and having fun. So I'm going to let this dry as it is. Now look at this. I have interesting spaces to work with, and I think I will put this here, and I'm just going to put this, a couple of masks here. We'll see what happens with this. And this doesn't have to be used together in the future or anything like that. It's just, you know, possibilities, just possibilities here. I have no overspray catcher right there. I like how you get these lines when you overlap the pages, so that's pretty cool. I'm still using all the same colors. And I'm playing with this directional spread because that is fun. All I have to do is clean my nozzle. It's going to spray in a broader way. I'm just having fun with this right now, creating some direction and some splatters. See, you notice you get some interesting splatters that way when you move it across quickly. That's a fun technique, right? I do want to cover up this area. I'm doing, again, more directional spray, but I don't have to. Just spray on there. Ooh, it's like, whoa. Ooh, look at this. What a pretty color. What a pretty color combo. Now let's see, we'll move this. Let me move this so you can see. Look how nice that looks. That's really pretty. I actually really like that, just like it is. And then this, I will peel off. Notice it masks the area, and I'll just set it here. Same for this. Peel it off. Put it here, and I'll take another piece of paper. Let me move this out of the way first. Ooh, that is gorgeous. So the reason I'm using the cardstock is it will absorb the excess, so I'll just press those down. And I have no idea what this will look like when I pull it up, but I think I'll leave some of that color there. Yeah, see, it's already drying. That's why you hear that, how it's sticking. So I just left a little bit of texture because it resisted what was already on the paper, right? So I'll just do that one again. Make some little dots. Now, if you want to get this spray and make it easy, just stick these in a little container of water if you want to get that off. I personally don't mind, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I laid that down on wet, and so I have a little bit. Some of the happiest things happen by accident. Look at that. Fantastic. Set that paper aside. This is perfect for stamping a face on. Perfect. I'm saving this, and maybe at the end of this video, when this is dry, I'll stamp on here because that is a fantastic face right there. So interesting, very interesting piece of paper here. Do a little bit, turn them, change them up a little, overlap them in a different way. So you really can play around with this overlapping to get these interesting lines on your paper. I will leave links to these products down below. This is, remember we did the white one? So here's the white. It's drying. See this white face? It's the same as this one. This is one of the new collage tissue papers. And this one I've had for a while. These textured ones. So I think I'll overlap that one, and then even, see, I need one on the bottom here. Trying to keep everything in camera also, so that's a little bit of a challenge. And this time I'm just going to, do something a little different, and then I'm going to drop some water on here. And I really don't know if it will have any effect at all. I think it'll resist a little bit maybe, or cause it to spread. I'm not sure. I'm just playing. So dripping some water. I usually tend to start with this light color. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm spraying from a distance now, but if I get closer, I can make a little puddle. And remember, it will resist itself in a way, create these sort of nebula effects. And there's really no rhyme or reason, except I just know that my colors will work well together. So you need to keep color theory in mind. You don't want to do opposites on the color wheel necessarily, unless you want to end up with a gray-brown kind of color. Maybe a color you don't want. You know, I'm opposed to the term mud, which I haven't talked about very much, but I don't like that term. I feel like it discourages people from mixing color. I know it's a very popular way to talk about it, but I learned something, and anyway, okay, I'll stop talking that. I'm just playing around with the colors. This night is so dark, really dark. I'm spraying my bottles too, so I'm sure you're going to see that. See, I sprayed my bottle the night just then. This is my water cap, I think. So I can't see any effect from the water, except maybe it puddles up a little bit here in these little spots. So I don't know if it's really having much of an effect. Kind of want to add another color in. I kind of want to add this yellow for some reason. This yellow is so appealing to me in this form. I just love it. I really want them also to come out with ruby. Dina, Ranger, ruby. Can you do ruby for me? That's a lot of the spray, but I think I will blot some of this off, but I'll use a paper. Yeah, I don't think that there's really a way to get this effect. And so this will just be some sort of collage paper eventually. Or I mean, I could just go directly on it and make it a page. It's so organic. It creates such an organic texture. I really like it. So tap. What happens if I tap? So now I'm not wasting any of my spray because I'm tapping it off with this cardstock. I could just use a tag. I could just do one layer. I did multiple layers on that. Look, this is wrinkled up, so it's going to create this wrinkled texture. I like this right here. Picking that up. I'm hoping to get a few dots too, but of course I could always just spray the dots on more. I did get some pinky oranges here from mixing that yellow and magenta. So that's really nice looking. All right, no idea, but it's gorgeous color, right? Gorgeous. Now let's look here. Just flip this over so you can see some of these. They will stick to this each other and to this page. You have to separate them to dry them, but here's what this one looks like while it's still wet. It will pretty much look the same when it's dry. I think you can see that glossiness. Cool. Let's look at this one. So if you were to put it in your journal just like this, on a white gessoed background, or just on white paper, it would look just like this. Isn't that just fabulous? Just amazing. Another one. Now this has some on the back, so you leave some on the paper. Oh, that creates interesting effect too. My goodness, so many options. That's this onto there instead of the other way around, right? Gorgeous. Look at this specklediness. You see that? All the little dots of color, all the different colors mixed in. Fantastic. Okay. And also really pretty. I love getting these overlapping lines. So see, I turned the paper and I have this that was partially covered by another piece of paper and this line, which is where I turned it. So really interesting effects there. Really interesting. And I like how it dries so crinkly. Fantastic. Here we go. Again, nice texture and color. Look at that. And I have some white space, and you see again these overlapping lines. It's a really nice effect. Here's one. Oh look, it's 2 sheets. That's interesting, right? This could be a face, and then here's the here's the body. Of course, you would change it up, right? It's mixed media. This is just a starting place, or you know, you can always just use them for collage because, oh my goodness, just tear them up and make collage out of them. They're fabulous. This is fabulous. All right. I want to spray more, but I feel like we've spent all this time. So what I will do is really quickly, I will stamp on this piece of paper that's perfect for a face. Still little bits that are not quite dry. The Fierce stamp set is perfect for this, so I'll just take out that face. I'm going to use black archival ink. You could, I have gray also, which I really like. I don't use a lot of colors of stamping ink. I don't feel that I need them. Use any color you like though. Or you could even use maybe scribble sticks. You could get a watercolor effect, but I want really crisp this time. I'm not using a block, so it may not work very well. So, you know, do what works for you. So this is the mouth, nose, and eyes, right? When I am looking, I feel this is the nose area. So that's where I'm going to try and put this little bump out part. And it may not turn out perfectly, and that's okay. And I'm just going to press it down. It's just going to be, it's the perfect place for a face. You could always draw one too, right? See? Got the highlight on the nose, got the chin area. Fantastic. Actually, this would be cool, right? See this? One eye is in that and one eye is not. Ish. I like to use all my ink. I wish I'd put it a little bit higher, but that's okay. Stamp around on here. All right, so let me give you a little parade of papers, and we will call this play session complete. Let's do sort of a parade of papers. So this is all Dina Wakley collage tissue, and then it's also some cardstock that I used to pick up some. So here is this. Pretty interesting. It has these little puddles here because I sprayed it with water and caused it to run down. It's going to create, it's not quite dry because of all the water I added, and it hasn't been very long since I did the play session. So some little puddles there. Pretty interesting effect. So that's one. Lots of speckles. This was, see that directional stroke? It's not really super, like, it adds a depth is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't like stand out like, oh, here I am. It more is adding depth to that color, which is really pretty. I think this is maybe my favorite page. It's so bright and so colorful, and it's just going to be lovely. It's got the lines on it because it was an overspray page. I used the chipboard on it. Here's the chipboard. And that is just the magenta and the yellow and sprayed when it's wet, and that creates a gorgeous gradient. Look at that. And it's really pretty on this paper too. So this, I think, is my favorite page for today, and I may just put it in my journal just as it is. Really cool. And this is an overspray page. Again, I like the lines overlapping here. I like how when I turned it and I sprayed, I could still see that other line. Pretty interesting. Very interesting, actually. I like these like gaps of color. Not exactly sure how that happened. I think because I was spraying with motion across it, and I did pick up and tap off excess color on this. So pretty cool. All fantastic collage sheets. Look at that. You can see the black just fine. It does have, because I sprayed on top of the black, it does have little dots of texture. You can see, it's really hard to see though, but it is little dots of texture and color on there. So something to be aware of. Something wrong with that. Just a thing, right? This is on the white tissue. Now I tried to blot it up a little bit because I sprayed on top of it. Let me do a quick comparison to spraying on the back. One sec. So this is the white tissue sprayed on top. This is the white tissue sprayed on back. What I can say about the differences I see is you can't see the white as much here. When I put it on something, I don't know how much that will show up. I don't know if it will show up more or less. So maybe more. I just really don't know. But you can see it, just not quite as well. Maybe I didn't blot it up very well or something. I'm not sure. But you can still see it. And the colors are really bright and vibrant. Now, if I sprayed on the back, which is what I did for this one, again, I just am loving this directional spray I can do. I notice the white shows up more, right? These white pages tend to be a little bit challenging. We're like, what do we do with them? If you paint on the back of them with acrylic paint, that will also have the same effect with acrylic paint. The sprays are acrylic too, but what I meant was if you use Dina's heavy body acrylics or some kind of thick acrylics, you can still paint on the back of these and this white will still show up. Or if you put the white over a colored background, it's going to show up. The white lines are going to show up. So you get a really nice effect when you spray the back of it, right? But the colors aren't quite as vibrant as they are when you spray the front. So see how really nice and bright these are on this side, but when I flip it, it's a little bit more muted. You can see that a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you just learn what you like and which you can use it both ways for that matter. So just wanted you to see a comparison of spraying on the front and spraying on the back. Again, maybe I could have picked this up better or something. I'm not sure if I had a more absorbent thing. I don't know. just something to note. If you have tips on that, hey, I would love to hear them. Okay, let's continue our little parade here. This is an overspray page. Again, I can see these lines and nice color and like interesting, very interesting. And that's all I'm going for is just something fun and interesting and playtime. This is spraying on top of the black. I did all spraying on top this time, none on the back. Nice mix of color. What I really love about this one is this little area where you can see all the different colors of spray. I think that looks really cool. So there we go. This was the one that was perfect. Overspray for a face. Again, so much of these I think I would just put straight into a journal. And I mean, you could just use gel medium and put them on a page and then put them all together and have a beautiful journal. And you could journal in it, of course. Thought this would be fun to stamp on that triangle shape that was created. I wish I had the eye a little bit higher, but does it matter? No, it doesn't. So just, again, more collage fodder for our journal. So these are where I picked up the ink. It is not ink. Where I picked up the spray. It's acrylic, it's not ink. There is a big difference. Okay. And I just think this combo is right here. It's got a neutral mix in there and that gorgeous green and pinks together. Now you would normally mix pink and turquoise, right? Because you will get that mud. Again, I don't like using that term. You'll get a gray or neutral color, really is what you get. So you can see that neutral in here. But that neutral makes that other color really stand out. It makes it really pretty. So, okay, I'm off that tirade now. So those I stamped off with. These I stamped off with the stencil, mask rather. I didn't even use the stencil. I just used the mask. Really pretty journal fodder here. And this page was the main pick up the color page. It looks very organic. Like this would be already a perfect background page. I feel that about so much of the stuff. It's just so easy to use. You can. It's like gel printing. You know, when you do gel printing, you just get going and it's just so fun and you end up with all of these pages and you're like, they're just gorgeous, gorgeous. And you're like, what am I going to do with these? Well, I'm going to put these in my journal. That's the point of what they're for, but the point of doing this was to play, was to decompress and de-stress a little bit. And so I hope you've enjoyed this playtime, and I'll see you in the next video.